Yeah, like we opened the film in Berlin, and then at the end of the week, after all the screenings, we had a concert just like in the movie because I created this scene for a film, and then I brought them both together for a concert in Berlin. It was wonderful. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it was 7 years ago. It took 7 years to make the film, and it was totally not expected. I didn't know anything about her music and about the character. And I was at a concert to see Suicide with Alan Vega, and it was a really bad concert. But the third part was Genesis with a third group called The Majesty, and I really loved her presence and her voice. I was, who is this person? And then I left the concert, and the next day I went to pick up a friend in Soho, and there was an opening, an art opening, and I went in waiting. And I walked on the foot of someone and turned around to excuse myself, and it was Genesis.
Oh.
And she talked to me, and she was really wanting to meet me. So she said, call me, come over. And I did, and Lady Jaye came down, and they both stared at me. And they're like, I think you're the one to film us. We've been waiting for you for a long time. And I was like, all right. And 2 weeks later, I was on tour with the whole band. So that was just the beginning. It was hard because I come from experimental film, so there's very little support for that type of films. And I shoot, I edit, I record the sound, I do everything. So it was just me, and it took 7 years because, of course, I have a full-time job in order to pay the rent. And then at the same time, I was filming at night and recording and going on tour and coming back to work. It took a really long time. And sometimes also it's very emotional because Lady Jaye died, and I was alone with the camera, so it was always a lot of absorbing and taking care of Genesis because she's now a really close friend, and I had to live everything through the camera as well. So it was a lot of navigating. It is. I mean, I would sometimes come back home crying because I was so exhausted by the whole and emotional. Because there was no crew, so there was no barrier between me and Genesis and all the emotions. And I also didn't know where the film would go, because I just shoot. And then I don't really know it would be a feature. I didn't know Jaye would die. I didn't know the story would continue or not. And then Genesis said, I want you to finish it in honor of Lady Jaye. So I did continue for 2 more years. After Jaye died, yeah. I mean, from the beginning, from the moment I met them, they were just connected like so deeply that I had never seen this in like a love story. That's also a very bizarre love story in the sense that their work and their love and their life is all one. They were making work together, they lived together, they created together, and they transformed their body to become one. So they started to look alike, but the love was like really overwhelmingly always there. So for me, even though it's not like a usual love story or something I was connecting to completely in the artwork, the body transformation, the love was so much there that it actually communicates through the film. And that's why I wanted a lot of the daily life and very simple life, because it shows them as very normal people as well, even though with unusual activities. She was Jen was totally open. She tested me for a long time, but I just remained myself, and it was not easy all the time, because they're very intense people, the whole band also, but I just continue working with her, and little by little, she trusted me completely and never questioned when I would ask her to wear a fish costume or go into these weird scenes. She would just do it very, very generously, and had a lot of fun, actually. So I think it was important to her because she's never worked with an artist in this way that had her own vision and would not portray her as a rock star or as the usual image that she had, but suddenly something completely surreal. And I think that really pushed her to do it also. I mean, that's with Jen, it's always everything is mixed together. So that's also something I love, because you make the film, but then it's also projected on the background for concerts. I went on tour. It's still going on. Like, the collaboration is still there. So I think there's no friendship without work, and I love that. So I'm waiting to walk on someone else's foot. I don't know yet. I think I need to travel with the film for the first time because it's a feature film and let go a little bit because I've been working 24/7 for especially the past 2 years, non-stop. So I really need to let go of the film and live with it and see what happens and then make little short films during that time so I can keep the energy going. But I don't know yet what's the next big project. It took many months because first of all, I had never made a feature film, so I didn't know how to tell a story. So it took very long time to go through 7 years of footage and sound. There's like 15 layers of sound in the film. So to recreate the atmosphere, the dialogue, the music, and that was a lot of work. So now I've gone through it, I know I have tons of footage that I decided not to include to make it a very personal portrait instead of having talking head interviews. But now I have tons of footage I didn't use that I could do a lot with, which I don't know what to do yet, but a lot of bonuses. I met Rossetto in New York when he was actually doing research there. And it was just like, bling, this wonderful person. And I learned about the festival through him and through other people then. And I really loved it. I loved the people. And I just arrived yesterday, but it feels so good. So I wish I could stay much longer.
Right, so that's it.
That's it? Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.